I don't know how to win or lose this talking point at this point. I can't definitively say that Tim Lincecum or Johan Santana were never the same after their 130 pitch perfect games or no hitters, right? Like you've brought that up. They were never the same.
Right.
I don't know that anybody can definitively say
143.
because of this.
Yeah.
Or because of that, this happened.
If
because of
there's
this,
a direct
that happened.
correlation.
No idea.
Right.
No clue. I know that teams are worried about pitch counts, right or wrong, because wherever they're getting their research now, it would seem to indicate that overuse, especially max effort overuse over many pitches, is what is going to contribute more than anything to arm injuries. Remember how we were joking with Waddle and Abdallah yesterday during crosstalk? You know, like 5 years ago, you couldn't eat eggs. Now all you're supposed to do is eat eggs. You know, this always changes.
Right.
When we were young, and hell, not even when we were kids, as recently as 15 years ago, you could never teach young kids to throw breaking balls, right? That's what ruins their arm.
Elbows.
Guess now what they say. Not true.
Yeah.
Got nothing to do with it. Now all the research is they could throw breaking balls till their heart is content as young as they want. It's all about overuse. How many pitches are they throwing? How many? But when we were kids, it was you can never teach a kid a breaking ball because you're dooming his elbow. And now the science is, no, that's not true. So
who chose 100? What arbitrary number did 100 come in at?
Don't know.
Like
Great
100.
question.
At what point does it become the 80's your number?
Great question.
Now, we just want a guy pitching 80 pitches.
Don't know.
Barely making it through 5. That's what we want from him, and that's it.
And look, I'm not here to say one way or another, like it should be this or it should be that. Jurko's probably right. Who's arriving at these arbitrary numbers? I don't know. Paul Skenes, and if people don't aware, I mean, if you're not aware, you got to be even living under a rock right now with what this kid's doing. You could say all you want about baseball's this, it's that. You don't follow it that much. Paul Skenes is a story. Paul Skenes is living up to all the hype. He's a little bit probably more popular and famous than most because he's got a celebrity influencer girlfriend.
Gymnast.
Who's very popular. Yeah.
Like she's a gymnast.
She's a gymnast, and she's really big on it. She's got millions of Instagram followers.
Yes, she does.
Libby Dunn is her name. For younger people certainly know. She's very popular. So Skenes comes with a fair amount of publicity already.
She's a flipper.
Yeah. And some fanfare. He's living up to all of the hype. He's been brilliant. I'm glad they named him the starter for next week. It lines up perfectly after starting yesterday.
Yes, it does.
There's no doubt he should be the all-star starter.
No
for
gray
the
area.
National League.
No gray area whatsoever.
And Passan and Kirchin were making that argument last week. Like, people are going to, sit down maybe to put that game on at the start.
Yeah.
That's when you want him pitching.
He does have a pitch limit in that game.
Well, they all do in the All-Star game.
15.
And I get that. Look,
15's his
you're
pitch
being
limit.
sarcastic.
I'm being a jerk, yes.
And I don't care about the All-Star game. Like that, you should limit guys.
I care so little about that All-Star game that I promise you I won't watch a thing.
Yeah. So Skenes yesterday, for the second time already, I think he's made, 11 or 12 starts? That's it.
I believe so.
For the second time already, he's been removed in a game with a no-hitter.
Okay.
And this is happening more and more with pitch counts and things like that. He was at 99 pitches. He needed just 6 to get through his last inning. Mm-hmm. So he didn't seem to be fading. He didn't seem to be laboring. Look, that game was going on while we were on the air yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it live. I went and watched some of the recap.
We knew he had 9 strikeouts.
We had updated it, I think, at one point.
Right,
You're
we had updated it. We knew he had 9. We didn't know he had a no-hitter going, but they only threw 4.
Right, exactly.
4 innings, whether you got a no-hitter or not doesn't matter.
And then I went back and I was watching some this morning, and it's hard, even with the condensed games as good as they are, it's sometimes hard it's not as easy to, get the full feel as if you're watching it live. But he didn't seem to be laboring at all. And he was removed at 99 pitches. And, listen, again, I'm not going to make an argument too much one way or the other. I think a lot of it is arbitrary. The realist in me kind of says, all right, he's probably not getting 6 more outs in 10 or 12 pitches. And you're brushing up against hey, we don't want to push him too much, so go ahead and take him out.
I don't think the young player has a problem with it because they've been dealing with it forever. Their pitch count, they probably have never thrown no-hitters in their day because they know they're never going to get to the point. He's happy. He's probably got 7 innings pitched, 0 runs. 0 runs, 0 hits.
Right.
Fine.
0 runs, 0 hits.
Okay, there you go. Nobody got a hit off me yesterday. Did you pitch a no-hitter? No. Well, because I only pitch 100 pitches, and
Right.
that's it.
Yeah.
I think younger players are more accepting of the fact they're going to get pulled because they've grown up with pitch counts their whole life.
I think it's a great point.
Yeah, the expectations have been lowered to such a point where there's no chance in the world that you can pitch a no-hitter anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be right about that there's just a more reasonable expectation that they have for those sort of milestones or for those marks. And listen, if you want to debate it, again, I knew Mike would get going on it. I loved it. It was great. I knew Jim Miller would probably be hot about it because he's voiced his frustration sometimes as a guy who came up in a different era and, again, played a very high level, a professional level of baseball, and was a pitcher, doesn't like the idea of these pitch counts. I think a lot of people, you hit on something interesting when you said, who decides the number?
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
Is it scientific?
And how much will those goalposts move as we go forward?
Yeah.
And is it scientific? I don't know.
Or is it not? I mean, at one point, the number was the number 125, and they decided, oh, that's too much?
Right. How was that arrived
Or
upon?
did they arrive at it when you said facing a team a third time? Going through the lineup the third time. Did that number kind of coincide with going through a lineup 3 times?
Now that I get a little bit because now you're talking about more data-driven stuff, right? They're like, well, wait a minute. Look at the lineup splits when the lineup sees the guy the third and fourth time through. Now, you might say that's kind of killing baseball a little and it's too nerdy. And okay, that's fine. But that is a more analytic approach where you're looking for a gain. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Why would I send my guy back out there a third time through when the OPS, when the slugging and on-base percentage numbers skyrocket? I might look at that and say, hey, I think we can find an advantage here if we don't let the lineup see the same pitcher a third or fourth time through. Now, that's data. How
That
much
is data,
right?
Carm.
Yes. How much do we have that says 100 pitches is too many, or 105 is too many, or 90 is too many? I don't know, man. That's a lot harder to parse through that data. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
That's a lot harder. 312-332-3776. That's the number if you want to ring us up.
Skenes is a handsome fella, too. He's a good-looking big fella,
okay.
guy.
I like the mustache.
Yeah,
he's a good-looking
A lot of people
kid.
do, you know?
Boy, he's
Imagine
something
the
to
ladies
watch.
checking him out, knowing he's already taken.
Oh,
when
yeah.
women know that a guy is already taken, I think there's even more of an allure, if you will. I think there is, yeah.
That's like the Costanza theory.
They see that mustache, and they're like, whoa, look at that.
He's a handsome enough man.
Yeah.
He's got a great arm. I'll tell you, he is fun to watch. I hope he stays healthy. Like I said, his odds went from 40 or 50 to 1 down to 12, 10 to 1. He's the overwhelming favorite. As long as he doesn't get hurt and if he even pitches to about half the level he's pitched in the first half year, in the second half, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's minus 700 to win Rookie of the Year. When he came up, Shota was the favorite, and he was 25 to 1. Now he's minus 700.
Shota's
still been pretty good.
Bad outings, though.
Yeah, but
he had some outings where he got rocked.
Yeah.
Rock me Amadeus.
Yeah.
They rock Shota.
Shota's now third choice. Jackson Merrill's got shorter odds.
Shota. Shota.
Jackson Merrill's now second at 7 to 1.
I walked up to Shota and they asked me his name. He smiled at me and said, "My name is Shota. S-H-O.
S-H-O.
I don't know how to spell it.
Shota.
It's a D-R-T.
Dude, we got to make that parody song.
Look at
Come
this
on.
group, huh? Look at this group. Sharp looking.
We got to make that parody song.
Yeah, let's do it.
Skenes is, like I said, now minus 700 in Rookie of the Year. Danny's in Schaumburg. What's up, Danny?
My guys, the little guys. Oh.
Wait till you hear it. He was great.
Jurko,
Yeah.
the amount of golf I'm hearing about you playing is insane. I love it. Keep doing it.
39 rounds this year, my
You're
friend.
insane, dude. I wish. I feel soft, right, pulling them, but we know what we know. I think about Kerry Wood. They said they pitched the hell out of him down in Texas. You know, the big belt buckle, grabbing the crotch and all that. By the time he was shot. So, I think what we know with pitchers, you just got to be smart about it. As much as I want to see a no-no, I want to see this guy pitch for 10 years, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
I hear you. I hear you on that, Danny. I know. I kind of lean more with you, Danny, to be honest. I'm not so overly passionate, fired up, and outraged by it. If it had been 89 pitches, I think I would have been let him go back out. Maybe, something. Maybe he gets through another quick inning. I don't know. He's at 99, and it's This is going to be about the end of the line. I mean, and I didn't hear Jesse make the point because I was taping the show earlier today. But he was on with Cap and Hoodie. Steele got lifted yesterday after 70 pitches. Justin Steele was through 7 innings, 70 pitches. You talk about efficiency. That's a dream come true. You're living for that. Now, the Cubs had opened up a pretty big lead, even with their bullpen, right? Like, the Cubs had an 8-run lead. So even with your bullpen over 2 innings, you're probably not flubbing that one, right?
Right.
But, that's what teams are doing now. Steele was lifted after 70 pitches with the All-Star break coming up.
I watched that game.
Good. I mean, the Cubs.
I watched that game. I mean, it was hit after hit after hit. Your kid, keep the train moving.
We jinxed
Remember
the outfield.
Farmio used to say that?
They're dropping balls in the outfield now. They're losing balls in the center field.
The left field.
Brandon Hyde.
The left fielder looked like he was struggling tracking the ball.
Joe's in Toledo. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Jurko, I'm playing Palmyra on Sunday. How's that course? Any
What
good?
a
It's my
track.
first time up there.
Destined
Is
for
it?
greatness, my friend. They did a redesign of that thing probably about 15 years ago that made it a much more pleasing course to play.
Good.
Yeah, they got some of the old holes that are tougher than nails, but I think you'll appreciate it out there. And the price is, I think, worth it.
There you go.
It's very. My buddy, he set it up for Sunday. He said he loves the layout. It was only $56. So I'm like, well, he can't beat
I mean,
that.
that's
No,
a
that's
deal and a
great.
half. That's what I'm talking about.
What do you want to say about Skenes, Joe? Go ahead.
So, not necessarily about Skenes, but about the players today. Do you think that they're lifting guys sooner because players have just evolved over the years? They're throwing a lot harder nowadays. Back in the 80s where guys were throwing 95, it was unheard of. Do you think now that, players are different, mechanics are different, guys are consistently throwing upper 90s and hundreds, that's why
Yes.
their arms are taxed more? And
Yes.
That could be it.
I think you are right, Joe. And I think more and more they're leaning on whatever relevant research that they do have now that suggests that amount of max velo all the time.
Yeah.
And that the overuse is what's going to lead to arm injuries more than, like I said, they ever thought when we were young that, sliders or breaking balls are going to ruin your arm. Now they're starting to go the other way with a lot of that.
I'll let you know this about Palmyra. I've met a lot of guys out there. Listen real quick, though.
Go ahead.
Remember during
love you.
during the COVID,
Yeah.
right? That happened in March, and
During
then here we
the
are now
COVID?
in May. The COVID, yes, when the draconian communist rules were put in
Draconian.
place.
That's a
Yeah.
great word, draconian.
Thank you.
That's a great word.
There are people from Iowa coming in. They were looking for a place to play golf, and from Iowa to just across the border in the state of Indiana was their closest golf course that they were going to be able to play because we opened up a little bit faster than everybody else opened up in the state of Illinois.
How about that?
So they made the 2-hour drive across the state just to play golf. And let's face it, I think COVID saved the golf industry.
For some,
Because
it
it's
may
the
have.
only event you could do outside during that time.
That's right.
That'd be an interesting thing to go and maybe write a book about, Carm.
You
How
get on that.
COVID saved the golf industry.
You get on that.
Tiger and COVID, the two things that saved the golf industry.